ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the next episode of the Classic Wrestling series. So, I'm very sorry that we haven't had an episode in quite some time. I have been super busy working on streams, on a few other things, and I've just been really busy, so I do apologize about that. But the boss has given me the next recording, and oh god, I am not looking forward to this one. We are watching an episode of Monday Night Raw from 2007, more specifically, January the 8th, 2007, with the most infamous match on there, The Donald versus Rosie O'Donnell. Fuck! This is not going to be good. I remember this match being crap, and I haven't seen it since. So, a little bit of backstory before we go into it. So, obviously, this is starting to build to Donald Trump versus Vince McMahon at WrestleMania 23, the Billionaire Battle, or whatever it was called. Battle of the Billionaires, there we go. So, which would culminate in Umaga versus Bobby Lashley, or Lushley, as Trump called him. Fucking yay. So, as a bit of an idea ploy, during this whole thing, the show for The Apprentice and The View were down apparently, so they decided to make this feud up, and it just went off from there. So I have no idea if Rosie O'Donnell had anything to do with this. I fucking hope so, because I remember this being fucking terrible, chat. I remember this match being fucking awful. But what about the rest of the show itself? Was it any good? Well, why don't we pause it and get on with our first contest and our first promo. So, number of things. Number one, if you hear a fan in the background, it is literally just blowing air into me because it is hot as balls in the office. But, leading into this, so we've got DX's battle feud with Rated RKO after what they did to, after what Rated RKO did to Ric Flair a few weeks before this show, bloodying him up, and then at New Year's Revolution, they basically went to Raw, DX and Rated RKO, and unfortunately Triple H gets injured, finishes the match, and then legitimately puts a beat down on Rated RKO. Storyline wise, it is a bloodbath. Edge and Randy Orton get busted open, Shawn gets busted open, like I say, Triple H gets injured and is out of action until SummerSlam, I believe, SummerSlam 2007, where he takes on Booker T in his return match, just so that you guys know where we are in the timeline. Whilst all that's happening, we have John Cena, who is the WWE Champion, taking on Kevin Federline last week. What the fuck is a Kevin Federline? He was Britney Spears' ex-boyfriend / husband, I think. I think it was the ex-husband. And we've also got Donald Trump versus Rosie O'Donnell. This is gonna be fucking fun! Yay! We'll get to that match when we get to it. Let's watch some good wrestling, and like I say, let's get to our first contest. So, beginning of Raw starts, and we have John Cena come out to talk about his match with Umaga at New Year's Revolution, and basically he turns around and bids up Umaga. That was the one thing I liked about Cena. He did build up his opponents, that even in a loss, he did build them up to be like, yeah, he kicked my ass, blah, blah, blah. Turns around and says he wants a rematch, and it will be for the WWE Championship. Jonathan Coachman comes out and says, yeah, that ain't happening. You're going to be facing our newest acquisition, the Great Khali, in a one-on-one match. Non-title, of course. So, Cena versus Great Khali is our main event for this episode of Raw. Next up, we have, we have fucking Mr. McMahon building up the Battle of the Billionaires match. Fucking yay. And then Rosie O'Donnell comes in and basically starts eating a Fudgy the Whale cake and basically starts talking shit about Donald Trump. Yeah, to anyone who thought that this was going to be actually Rosie O'Donnell versus Donald Trump, I'm going to say now, 2007 you're a fucking idiot, because no way on God's green earth this was going to go down, motherfuckers. Like, no way. But it's gonna go down tonight again. The Donald versus Rosie O'Donnell. Oh, this is not gonna be good. Also, there is a Easter egg which I didn't know about. Who actually plays Donald Trump, and we'll talk about that when we eventually get to our matchup. But we have now got our first proper matchup. Jeff Hardy versus Kenny Dykstra for the Intercontinental Championship. So, let's get to this and see how well this match goes. Okay, so we just had Kenny Dykstra versus Jeff Hardy. This was an interesting matchup. There was a commercial break in between this match, but from what we saw, it was entertaining. Johnny Nitro, better known as Johnny Mundo, John Morrison, you know, X amount of fucking nicknames here, comes out to basically try and distract Jeff. Then Ric Flair comes out to low blow Kenny Dykstra, twist of fate, swanton bomb, 1, 2, 3. Jeff retains the Intercontinental Championship. Again, from what we had, this was good. It does further two feuds as well: the Kenny Dykstra Ric Flair feud and the Johnny Nitro Jeff Hardy feud. But when when Hardy's motivated, Hardy is a good wrestler. Dykstra, for being 20, was very fucking good. Also being a part of the Spirit Squad as well, being made into a joke, didn't really help him with that. But he was a good wrestler. I don't know why WWE didn't keep him for longer, because he was fucking good. I'm not gonna lie. He was athletic, at least. He was able to get to the top rope in one single bound. There were a few mess-ups, I'm not gonna lie. A couple of missed kicks and missed cues. But bar that, it was an entertaining matchup, I'm not gonna lie. So, we'll get to our next segment and our next matchup. So, let's see what it's going to be. So, we just had Rosie O'Donnell go into the Divas locker room talking to Mickie James and Maria Kanellis, I believe at the time. Yeah, this is just to build the idea of Rosie O'Donnell being a lesbian. Fucking hell, this is stupid. I'm not gonna lie, it is fucking stupid. Then we have Melina and Victoria taking on Mickie James and Maria. This was a fun matchup, I'm not gonna lie. Melina gets the win on Maria. There we go. I had to think about it then for a second. But it was fun. You know, women's matches at this time were a bit they were not good at this time in 2007. It would get better around 2009, 2010, I think, if I recall. But it's just one of these things. It's the time, it's the era, and all that shit. Oh, now we've got Rosie O'Donnell. Oh, now we've got the match. We've got Rosie O'Donnell versus Donald Trump. Okay. So I'm going to do my research into this, and we're just going to talk about this coming up. So let's do this. Okay, so the whole feud, if you don't know what I'm talking about, between Rosie O'Donnell and Donald Trump started back in December of 2016, where Trump decided not to fire the then Miss USA Tara Connors after revelations of drug use, underage drinking, and sexual activities. Stay classy, America. Fuck me. The co-owner of the Miss USA pageant raised some eyebrows by saying, "I've always..." this is a direct quote from Trump on December 19th, 2006. "I've always been a believer in second chances. Tara is a good person. Tara has tried hard. Tara is going to be given a second chance." That's fair. Connor was allowed to keep her crown, but had to go to rehab. That's fair, I believe. That is a fair chance. Everyone deserves a second chance. So if you agree to go to rehab, that's fair. I agree with that decision. The next day, Rosie O'Donnell, who was the co-host of The View at the time, criticised his decision, saying that she doesn't enjoy Trump and said that he went bankrupt. I do apologise, 1 second. I'm on CNN right now. A claim Trump continued to deny, most recently at Thursday's GOP debate, which is at this time 2015, I believe. So, basically, this was a whole plot. Viewership for The Apprentice was down. Viewership for The View was down. So, they basically decided to make up this whole situation regarding this whole thing, and it turned into a proper feud, actually. It actually turned into a really not a good feud, but it all started because of Miss Tara Connor's revelations of drug use and all that jazz. So it's one of those things where it's like, you have to give a person a second chance to make a change. So I agree with Trump by saying, I can't believe I actually just said those words out of my mouth. I agree with Donald Trump. I am going to need bleach. But everyone deserves a second chance. That's fair. Yes, it did raise some eyebrows with some people, but everyone deserves one. So Vince decided to have a genius idea and put this on Raw and actually have the two go at it. Now, I believe Trump was actually involved in this. Now, I don't know how true that is, but I also don't really know if Rosie O'Donnell had anything to do with the actual feud itself. So this is where it's going to get very dicey for me, because I know for a fact I'm not gonna like this, and oh man, this is gonna be, I will try and stay positive, but oh, this is not gonna be good. This is not good. So, as I was trying to say, Donald Trump at the time, Donald Trump is actually played by Ace Steel, who is an alleged biter, allegedly. I'm not looking forward to this one, chat. I'm really not. The boss has decided to punish me, and this is how I'm going to get punished. So, let's just, let's get through this one, chat, shall we? Let's do it. Yeah, no, this was a complete fucking joke. This is in disgusting taste. Like, this is absolutely fucking disgusting. My opinion is Rosie O'Donnell had nothing to do with this. That's my opinion. Rosie O'Donnell had nothing to do with this, and she basically saw this and was absolutely fucking disgusted by it. Because this is the wrestling. This wasn't even a wrestling match. This was just like, I could just turn around and say to my mate Ryan and to my mate Deck and go, right, you two, go in the ring and just piss around for 10 minutes and it'd be a better match. You know, this felt like, this probably went maybe 3 minutes. It felt longer. It was so drawn out. It was so boring. They even fucked up the cake spot where you hit the cake in the face. It went everywhere but the fucking face. It's like, oh my god, how do you fuck that one up? The fat jokes as well was fucking disgusting. Now, again, Jim Ross and Jerry Lawler have to do this. It's their job and all that jazz, but I hope they're ashamed of themselves for this. I really do. I hope they look back on this and go, yeah, that was a really bad decision on our part. But again, you know, you get paid, you have to do it, blah, blah, blah. Oh, this was god-awful. I'm not going into detail about this. If you guys really want to watch the actual detailed thoughts, I'm going to put a link to Wrestle Talk Podcast's Worst Match Ever, which is where they actually talk about this match, and they talk about it in its entirety. So they suffered for me, and they suffered for everybody. So I'll put a link to that video in the description below. If you want to go check it out, please do. If you haven't subscribed to Wrestle Talk, they're fucking awesome, guys. They're absolutely hilarious and very, very fucking funny. But yeah, so after I need to get the taste out of my mouth with a sip of coffee. That's better. Alright, now back to some good wrestling. Carlito versus Chris Masters. Let's get to this match. So, we just had Carlito versus Chris Masters. These two, oh, thank God they put on a good match after the bullshit of the previous match. Entertaining matchup. Tori Wilson gets involved because these Carlito and Chris Masters are feuded at this moment in time. Masters was going to try and put Tori Wilson in the Master Lock, but Carlito made the save. Tori Wilson comes out, hits the rim bell on Masters' knee. Backstabber, 1, 2, 3. Carlito gets the win. So, now, going into it, we have got Rated RKO's victory celebration over DX from last night's New Year's Revolution. And holy shit, they are battered. They actually look destroyed. This was a short-lived team, but Orton and Edge were so fucking good together. I'm not gonna lie. They really should have kept this going a bit longer, in my personal opinion. So, let's not waste any more time. They were known as Rated RKO. I don't think they ever had the graphic of Rated RKO to be honest, which is stupid because that would have fucking worked. So let's hear what these guys have to say about their previous match and what is Shawn Michaels going to do in retaliation. Let's get to it. So we just had Rated RKO's victory celebration, basically turning around saying that, yeah, they bled, but they didn't, they lost the battle, but won the war. Triple H has got a legitimate quadricep tear. They did say that they would bleed. They would. Triple H said on the Raw before this episode that they would break bone, tear flesh, and they will make Rated RKO bleed. Luckily, there was no broken bones. However, the quadricep tear is a muscle tear that is fucking horrible for Triple H. And again, the RKO bleeding. So 2 out of 3 was predicted and did come true. It does suck when an injury does happen. Triple H did manage to finish the match and all that, which is a good thing. Again, as I said in the introduction and where this all comes about, Triple H would come back at SummerSlam to face Kim Booker at SummerSlam 2007. So it would be about a 4 to 6 month recovery process. But it was a very good, it luckily wasn't, luckily it wasn't a serious tear, even though it was a quadricep tear. Shawn basically comes out and says, is this the end of DX? I don't know, but I'm going to be by my best friend's side in the hospital in Birmingham, Alabama tomorrow, and I will deal with you guys next week. And I believe it would be a street fight between Edge and Shawn Michaels. I just have to confirm that one and just double check it. But with that being said, we've now got our, I think it's our semi-main event. I believe it is, our semi-main event is, Great Khali. Yeah. So it is Crime Time versus, Kane and Murdoch, in just a tag match. So let's get to that tag match. So we just had Crime Time versus Kane and Murdoch. Fun little matchup, entertaining. JTG gets the win with a cradle on Murdoch. Again, it's fun, it's a little matchup, it's entertaining, and yeah, this was just a good, solid little match. So, our main event is Great Khali versus John Cena, and we are going to get to that matchup, we're going to get to that matchup next, and hopefully it will be a good match, hopefully. I mean, so what have I thought about this Raw in general? To be fair, Kenny Dykstra versus Jeff Hardy, for what time they had, it was a fun matchup. The promo with Edge and Randy Orton and Shawn Michaels was really fucking good as well. There was a lot of good on this show. It's just fucking Rosie O'Donnell versus Donald Trump, which is a fucking disgusting, awful, shite match. It shouldn't even be on the card, but again, it's building up to Donald Trump versus Vince McMahon at Mania for 23. It's just fucking stupid. It's disgusting. It's tasteless. I don't even know how the fuck they managed to get away with this in 2007, let alone how they managed to how Vince managed to put this on fucking TV. I have no idea. It is in fucking poor taste, and it's just disgusting. So, we'll get to our main event. Hopefully the main event is going to be good. Hopefully it will be a fun main event. If not, shit. But so far, bar that match, it's been okay. Like, it's a solid-ish episode of Raw. Like, I would say skip the Rosie O'Donnell match if you don't want to watch it and watch WrestleTalk's video. Again, I'll have a link in the description below. If you want to know more about the match and more details and more information about it, I'm not going into it nicely. But yeah, it's one of those things. It's Raw in 2007. It is what it is, unfortunately. It sucks. Right, let's get to our main event. John Cena versus The Great Khali. So, we just had John Cena versus The Great Khali. Okay, this isn't even a match. It starts, there was a bell, the bell rings and all that jazz. But really, this is just to carry on building up Umaga versus John Cena. Armando Estrada is at ringside, so obviously he gets involved. DQ. Umaga comes out, attacks Cena, and basically puts forward the claim that he should face Cena at the Royal Rumble, which does happen. It is a last man standing match, if I recall, at the Royal Rumble, the Royal Rumble 2007. So, yeah, again, this is more about building the feud between Cena and Umaga, having the rematch and all that jazz. So, yeah, this was an okay main event. I mean, if you got, you would get, people would feel like they get gypped because of the main event, but I liked it. I thought it was an okay main event, entertaining and all that. But what did I think of it overall? It was an okay show. It was a good show. It was really entertaining. It was a good show. Bar the whole Donald Trump, Rosie O'Donnell BS. It's just one of those things you can't deal with. You can't really work on, and you just have to fucking put up with it. But again, for what it was, Raw in 2007, to build up, getting ready for the Royal Rumble after a pay-per-view as well, New Year's Revolution, it's okay. Like, it's not something to shout about. It's not a great episode of Raw. It does have a shite match in it, but it's one of those things. Not all of them are going to be home runs for Raw, but I wouldn't say this is a bad episode. If you watch the entire show, it's not a bad episode. If you just watch Rosie O'Donnell versus Donald Trump, then it fucking sucked. So, with that being said, thank you very much for joining me on this episode of the Classic Wrestling Series. I will be back, I believe it's Sunday or Monday morning, for AEW NJPW's Forbidden Door. Ospreay versus Omega 3 and Kazuchika Okada versus Brian Danielson. Sign me the fuck up for that one. Hell yeah. So, that is what we're going to be doing next week, chat. And I will see you then for Forbidden Door. TTFN. Ta-ta for now.